I've always been obsessed with roller coasters. There's just something about the way they defy gravity, defy death, rush you to the very brink, teetering at the edge where anything can go wrong, yet somehow everyone returns safe and sound at the end. At least most of the time, right? There are some roller coasters that have been famously dangerous, like the Jetline in Sweden, a popular coaster that ran for decades, but after replacement parts weren't properly tested, one of the coaster's trains derailed, fatally. Or at Six Flags, where a restraint on the Texas Giant coaster came undone and a woman was flung from the ride to her death. In my town, there's a small Six Flags-style theme park. I won't tell you the name, but you've probably heard of it in the news recently. In any case, it's mostly rides and carnival games. I've been an operator there for the past few months, but there's one roller coaster that no passengers are allowed to ride. It's funny because I see them test running it all the time. One day, I even went and asked a fellow staff member, Markisha, when they were going to open the new coaster. She said never, and I couldn't tell if she was serious or joking. I asked her again. She said with a shrug, "Boss says the Ultimate has got some sort of bug." Anyway, fast forward a couple months, and Markisha and I are kind of casually dating. She's nerdy, snarky, and a few years older than I am. We're pretty different, but maybe that's why we get along. One thing that unites us is our passion for roller coasters. The Ultimate still isn't open, and one afternoon she suggests that maybe we ride it ourselves after the park closes. "Wait, for real?" I exclaimed. "Yeah, I mean, last time everything got safety checked, it passed all the checks. Plus, I saw someone on it yesterday when it was running. There's literally nothing wrong with it. I think it's just superstition. The boss won't open it to the public. He's convinced it'll go wrong, like the first time," he says. The idea of there being some flaw in the Ultimate's design that could be dangerous gave me pause. But Markisha was at least as well versed as I was in all the ways theme park rides can kill you. Anytime there was news of another theme park death, we'd talk about whether it fit into our top 10. Mechanical failures, obviously, are big on our list. And design failures, like the water slide that decapitated a 10-year-old boy. Then there are human errors. We often argue whether to count fatalities from visitors trespassing in fenced-off areas and then getting whacked by mechanical parts. I don't really count these since, well, it's kind of like when people play on train tracks. Not to be mean about it, but in those situations you can't really blame the rides. Anyway, the Ultimate didn't have any mechanical issues or design flaws, so in theory, it should be safe. Like Markshad said, it had recently been tested for any engineering problems and passed with flying colors. It ran smoother than our flagship roller coaster, the Cobra. Neither Markisha nor I had pre-existing health issues. And the design of the Ultimate was nothing extraordinary. It had only one giant loop, and further on, a smaller one. Despite the name, it was actually less intense than the Cobra, our most popular coaster. Probably the coolest thing about it was its design. A jet black roller coaster with sinuous curves like a serpent. So anyway, Markisha and a friend of hers, Carlos, and I all agreed to meet after the park closed and try out the Ultimate. Staff were still cleaning up around the park, but it was deserted of visitors when I went to meet Carlos at the main entrance. I remember Carlos and I walking toward those ominous black loops of the Ultimate and seeing the coaster running as Markisha put it through one more test run. Either another employee or a test dummy was in it as it shot by. It was very fast. Not fastest in the world, but damned if it wasn't fastest in the park. "Dude, that thing is awesome," exclaimed Carlos. When we got to the ride's entrance, Markisha told me everything checked out fine and that she and Carlos would go first. I started to object, but she said, "Nah, I get first dibs. I'll run it for you again after." "Woohoo, let's do this," said Carlos. Like all modern roller coasters, pretty much everything was automated after pushing the button for it to go. The main part of my job was the safety checks beforehand, making sure everyone was strapped in, nothing loose, no belongings to go flying off and hurt someone, etc. I sighed and performed the requisite safety checks on Markisha and Carlos, tugging their harnesses to make sure they were strapped in. The rest of the train was, of course, empty. Come on, let's go, hooted Marcatia. Let's do this, shouted Carlos. I pressed the button and sent them on their way. The coaster began, its 2 passengers shouting and waving, and slowly ascended the incline to the park's most spicy hill.